Okay, so this is my chair. Yes, it's a rocking chair, but that's okay. I will fix it so it doesn't move too much. And you're going to take your blanket. I've got an extra pillow on mine because it's a little low being a rocking chair. And I'm going to take my blanket and fold it in half and in half again. So that's there. That way it makes it more of a traditional chair height. Okay, so you can cozy up to your chair. And you can sit cross-legged, and if that's a little too tight in your hips, prop yourself up on a pillow or a bolster to lift your hips up a little bit. You can also take the soles of your feet together if you want more of a hip stretch this morning. It doesn't all have to be cozy, restorative poses. You can create what you need this morning. So maybe if you're looking for a little bit extra stretch through the hips, feet together, knees wide, like Supta Baddha Konasana. Again, you can always sit on a block or a pillow to lift your hips up a little bit higher. And then we're going to start to hinge forward. Take a nice deep breath in, sweeping the arms up. And then bring the hands back down. And we're literally just going to rest our heads forward on this chair. So hands go up, head goes down. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. And as you're resting here with a little bit of pressure on your forehead, try to soften your eyes, maybe release any tension in your jaw. And just know that this chair and blanket are cradling your head, but your breath can move freely throughout your body, your torso, right down into your hips. Take another full breath in and a full breath out, and just keep cycling back through your inhales and your exhales. As you breathe into the back side of your body, maybe you can feel your back body lift or stretch. I feel it through my shoulder blades, maybe my mid-back. Take one more full breath in. And one more full breath out. And one more breath in, starting to lift yourself back up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just a breath. And then nice and slow, you can start to open your eyes. If you had the soles of your feet together, cross your legs so you can sit in Sukhasana. You can push your chair right out of the way or turn yourselves around, coming back to the middle of your mat. Good morning, Jenny. Hi, Rachie. Good morning, Pat Sweetland. Nice to see you. Teresa, lots of people are joining in this morning. This is awesome. And it may be that you have nothing else to do today, or maybe you were looking forward to class. Whichever it is, I'm glad that you're here. Again, we're going to do some movement in the beginning and then get into the restorative piece. Later today at noon, I'm teaching a little segment on Shavasana. So what's it all about? It's all about Shavasana. We'll save the world and ourselves one Shavasana at a time. Take a nice deep breath in from your seated position. If your hips are still elevated on a pillow or some blocks, that's fine. Take a full breath in as you sweep the arms up. And then turn the hands around and take the arms back down. Just stay open through the chest. Again, lifting, reach up nice and tall. And then exhale, turn the hands around.
And we're just getting some movement matched to the breath right now. So inhaling, sweep up the arms again. Exhale, bring the arms down. We're going to do this 2 more times. Full breath in. Feel some length come into your spine. Maybe you look up. Exhaling, the arms go down. Last time. Big breath in. Sweep up. Open up. And then this time, bring your hands right down through your heart center. Let's come into tabletop. As you make your way onto your hands and your knees, take a full breath in and a full breath out. And then with your breath, inhale, release the belly, tip the tail, open up across the heart, looking up. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail. And again, you'll move to the rhythm of your own breath here. Cycling through your cows and your cats, just becoming more aware of how the breath is moving throughout your body. And you get to stretch and just wake up. I don't know about you, I'm a little stiff. I think I'm always stiff these days. I'm moving, but I just don't think it's the right movement. How do you know if it's the right movement? Well, you keep breathing into your body as you move through these poses. Cow to cat, maybe some C curves start to work their way into your movements, stretching out your side bodies. And then we'll take 1 more round of these cows and cats. And then you can take your knees down, spread them nice and wide, big toes touch. Walk your hands out for a child's pose. Just stretch out nice and long. Rest your forehead gently on the mat. Maybe you rock your head right to left. It feels good, a little bit of a massage right along your forehead. Take another full breath in and a full breath out. I'm channeling my inner Lucinda today. I have my coffee. One more big breath in. 1 more big breath out. Now, move up to your fingertips like you have tennis balls under your hands. Let's stretch out those side bodies. Walk your fingers over to the left. Really draw that right hip back. Take a full breath in as you walk your hands back through center. And then go right over to the right, drawing that left hip down and back, stretching out those left ribs. Take a nice deep breath in. Bring the hands back to the center. Let's tuck those toes, lift your hips, come on into downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now, if you still have your chair handy and you're not interested in moving through the sun A's this morning, you're just here for the restorative love, awesome. You can sit in your chair and still do some half sun A's with us, just to get the blood flowing. So if you're in down dog, pedal out your feet, maybe lift up to your toes and let the heels release so you can really stretch out the back sides of your legs. If you're seated, ground down through your sit bones and squarely plant both feet on the floor, knees at a 90-degree angle. From down dog, inhale, lift up to your toes. On your exhale, walk your feet forward so you're in a forward fold. Take a full breath in for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, now from here, we can all do it together. Take a big breath in, rise to stand. If you're seated, bring the arms up, look up, and then exhale, forward fold. If you're in your chair, you can just take yourself right down and rest on your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet back out to plank. If you're seated in a chair, just come back up. Sit nice and tall. From your plank, you're going to lower down. Whether you take your knees down first or not, that's up to you. And then when you get down to your mat, untuck your toes, press down through the tops of your feet. Inhaling, draw your shoulders back for cobra. Take a full breath in and a full breath out as you release. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, make your way back to down dog. So work through those two more sun A's from your down dog. If you're seated in a chair, you can still be moving. Inhaling, lift the arms up. Exhaling, fold right over your legs. And just release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come back to seat. Take another full breath in and a full breath out. And if you're moving through your sun A's, take your time as you feel all the muscles hug onto the bone. Really draw in through the low belly. Stay strong through your hands and your feet. And always come back to your breath. Take another full breath in and a full breath out. And then after your second sun A, we'll stay in down dog for just another breath. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Okay, inhale up to your toes. On your exhale, look forward and take your feet right up between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise high to stand, and then this time sit your hips back for chair. Really pull in through your low belly. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Pausing in your chair, breathing nice and deep. And then from here, I want you to take yourself all the way down. So keep bending your knees until your sit bones make it down to the ground, and let's come right into boat. So the arms are still extended. Now you can take them either behind your knees or you can keep your fingers on the ground. Take a nice deep breath in, flex your feet, pay attention to the pose as you breathe in, lift the heart. Maybe look up and soften your face. Take a nice deep breath in, and then on an exhale, lower down. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, lower down. Keep going with your breath. And I keep changing where my hands go. Some days you'll see me with my hands behind my thighs, but today it feels good to have my hands grounded. I just need that sense of grounding. Keep breathing and moving. One more, lowering your boat. And then inhale, bring it back up. Cross your legs and come to a seat. Back in Sukhasana. Let's take the arms up nice and high. Big breath in, stretch, and we'll twist toward the left. Right hand goes on the outside of the left knee. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And with each breath, just slowly allow your spine to turn toward the left. Keep going right up to the crown of your head. Maybe you look right over your left shoulder. Keep breathing nice and deep. If you're still in your chair, you can certainly do these twists from your seat on your chair. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Nice and slow. Come back to center. Lift the arms high. Stretch up. And then exhale the other direction. Again, taking your time, using that breath to tell your body you're fine, to move into the twist at your own pace. Nice and slow. Taking your time. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more breath in. And then exhale, come back to center. Lift the hands up nice and high. Exhale, bring them to your heart. How are we doing? Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Let's come up to our feet. Come into Tadasana. Standing up nice and tall. Set your feet right underneath your hips. Shoulders are right over the hips. Hips are over the ankles. Take a full breath in. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring your hands back to your heart space. One more breath in. Reach the arms up. And then this time, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Toe heel your feet apart. Let your hands come to opposite elbows. And if you have a block or a nice high pillow that you'd like to put underneath your head, you can make this a little bit restorative. Resting your head on something to take the pressure off. Take a full breath in and a full breath out, and just allow your body to cascade right over your legs. One more breath in. One more breath out. And we take the time in between these poses to rest. And maybe that's giving you a hint for the sensations and the feelings we'll be looking forward to in Shavasana. Because it's still a pose, and it's still part of every practice, whether it's hot and sweaty practice or a yin practice. There's a section where we get to rest. It's my favorite part now. Take another breath in and another breath out, and then bring your hands back down to the ground. Toe heel your feet back in. Take a full breath in for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet back out to plank and pause. Take a full breath in your plank, and then you choose how you want to lower down and rinse that off, whether the knees come down first or you go straight from plank. Take yourself right down to the ground. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, release. Now, don't go anywhere. Stay flat on your stomach, on your mat. Take your arms down by your sides and bring your chin to the center of the mat. And with a big breath, let's come into bow. So draw your arms back, open up across your heart, lift your feet. Just get this beautiful little back bend here on this bow pose. And don't lift too high because we're not looking to strain anything. It's just a different stretch, opening up through the heart and the back body's doing the work. Keep breathing, and then nice and slow, lower yourself back to the mat for a rest. You can turn your head right to left, resting on one of your ears. Take another breath in and another breath out. And then we'll bring the chin back to the center of the mat. Take another full breath in. Stretch those arms to the back of the room. Lift the feet. Stretch those back. Beautiful bow pose. Just breathing. Maybe you're rocking on your hip points. That's all good. You kind of have to because you're laying on your diaphragm and your lungs. And you still need to breathe. Take another breath in and another breath out as you release. Now bring your hands back to your side bodies, right by your ribs. Tuck your toes and either push back up through your knees or full plank, and then lift your hips high, downward facing dog. One more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale up to your toes. Exhale, walk your feet right through your hands and come to sit down. Join me again in Sukhasana, legs crossed. Hi, how are you? Happy Friday. I'm looking forward to beautiful weather. It's coming, right? I hope so. Okay, we're going to get into a couple of restorative poses now. If that flow is not enough for you, you can always come back to some sun A's later. Just remember to keep coupling whatever you're doing with your breath, and that will give you some more energy, okay? So we're going to start out with a one blanket back bend. It's a heart opener. And I just think with everything going on, the more heart openers we can do, the better we are. So take your blanket, and whether that's a bath towel or a regular yoga blanket, it doesn't matter, but you're going to take it the Tadasana style, right? And then we're going to fold it. No, we're going to leave it in Tadasana. Yeah. Don't even know what I'm doing. Lay it with the long edge across your mat, okay? And we're going to rest our hips. I'm going to use a different blanket because I don't like the one I've got. Hold on. All right. My blanket is back in Tadasana, and I am laying it here. Fringe down. That's better. Okay, and you're going to sit right on your mat. Your hips are on the mat and your shoulders will be off the blanket on the mat. And it doesn't really seem like it's that much, but it's just enough to start to open up through the heart. So you're going to lay back down. You might have to wiggle a little to get your shoulder blades on the mat. And then you can take your legs and bend them, bringing the knees together. So let the knees knock in. Feet go to the outside edges of your mat. And then you have a choice. You can either open up your arms, which I think feels really good because it tells me that my shoulder blades are definitely on the mat. Or if this is a little too vulnerable and you feel too open, you can rest your hands right on your belly. That calming sense, that little bit of pressure, and you're just kind of holding on to yourself. So that's fine. So whether you choose arms open or arms closed with hands on the belly, that's your choice. And then move your head from right to left, just enough so you can find that back side of that bony point, the occiput. Tip your chin down. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And of course, if you have an eye covering, you can cover your eyes here. It's nice to have a little bit of darkness when you're starting to do these restorative poses. You want to stay warm in a nice dark room, and sometimes that doesn't happen because the light is coming in. So whether you put a washcloth or an eye bag over your eyes, it's your choice. Okay, so take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to stay in this one blanket back bend for about 8 minutes. I'll ring the bells when it's time to come out, so just rest and restore. and be on your mat. Start to deepen your breath. With an inhale, you can start to shift over to your right side and just pause there for a moment. Give yourself time to come back to the present, even though you weren't gone that long. But it was a great way to start preparing yourself for a little bit more rest that will come with each pose. So use your hands and push yourself up to a seat. Take a full breath in, feel your heart and lungs lift with that inhale, and then as you exhale, let yourself ground. With your next breath, take your arms up, sweep up, look up. And then exhale, bring your hands right back down and pause. These Friday Flow and Restores are just so meaningful to me, knowing that you take the time out of your day to either plan for this, or maybe you just happen upon us accidentally. The ability to rest together and give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves, to slow down, to work on pushing aside the anxiety, the worry, the stress. It's very, very important. And like I said, if you did one restorative pose a day, that would be so amazing. So hopefully these Friday classes can give you options, and someday you'll just be like, hey, I'm going to put my legs up the wall today, and do it for at least 15 minutes. Yes, definitely a present you give yourselves. And let's face it, if we don't learn to take care of ourselves, we really can't take care of anybody else. It just all falls apart. And we all have those moments where we're just like, frazzled and scattered. So great place to practice settling in so we can let that internal healing happen for our mental and emotional state. Our next pose is going to be a reclined pose. You have the option to turn it into a little bit of a hip opener. So if you know your way, that's great, but get your bolsters or a couch cushion, or lean something up against your couch so you're at an a reclined angle, maybe 45 degrees. If you have blocks, you can place your blocks behind your bolster or couch cushion, one on the short, medium side and one on the tall side, and then you lay the bolster against it, and we're going to sit right here. You can keep a blanket down to cushion your bottom. Okay, and then grab a couple more pillows and or blocks and or blankets, because you want to be able to roll them for either under your knees, or if you want to make it the hip opener and bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open, you're still going to prop underneath your knees. So you can either take blankets or bath towels and roll them up. So you have a nice log, like a burrito roll, and either that goes underneath your knees, so it's like a cascading effect. See how that is? Can you see that? I hope you can see that. Or you open up the knees by bringing the soles of the feet together, and then you take that same prop, that rolled bolster and or pillow, and you put it underneath the outside edge of your knee. Either way is fine. It just depends on what you're looking for. This open pose, again, can feel a little vulnerable. If you have another blanket you want to cover up with from shoulders on down, you can do that. Or you could just lay it across your abdomen, and be sure you have your bath or your washcloth or an eye pillow for your eyes. Because again, creating an environment where it's warm and dark and still is very important to how we get into these poses, and that tells our bodies it's okay to let go. So once you've gotten into this reclined posture, you're going to take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Back this up just a little bit. One more breath in, one more breath out. We're going to be here for 12 minutes, just so you have an idea of what's happening. Big breath in, big breath out. I'll ring the bells again when it's time to come out. And if you do hear outside noises, try not to let it disturb your rest and your peace. Now, also, I forgot one more thing before you settle in. If you feel like your head is too far back, get another little
blanket or hand towel to be able to prop your head up just a little bit, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Yes. Take a fuller inhale and a slower exhale. That was a little under 12 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that we have enough time for Shavasana. So if your soles of the feet were together and your knees were open for a hip opener, bring your hands to outside your knees and close them up like a book. And then everyone draw their knees into their chest and gently roll to the right, coming right off your bolster. And just lay on your side for a moment so that you can let settle into your body that stillness that you just worked so hard to achieve. That sense of peacefulness that I believe after we've done it enough, it's like muscle memory. We can crave it and want to bring that back, that sensation of, oh yeah, I'm okay. This peaceful internal rest. That's the best. We're going to set up for Shavasana now. I don't know why they call it corpse pose other than you're so still for so long. And I was certainly that person when I first started in yoga that didn't have time for Shavasana, and now look at me. It's the most important pose of my life. And I'm so glad you're all doing it with me. I think not being able to see each other is fine because our eyes are going to be covered, but knowing that there's other people doing Shavasana at the same time you are, I think that's kind of a cool connecting piece. So you have your choice of laying flat out in traditional Shavasana. Just please be sure you have a blanket to cover up. I want you to make sure you're warm. If you need socks, grab some socks. And of course you need an eye cover so you can be in that nice, still, quiet, dark space that you're going to create, that little cocoon. You can also bend your knees up over the couch or over your bolster if you would like to set up for Stonehenge. Be sure you have a head pillow if you need that as well, and try not to put it in the crook of your neck. I want you to support more of the back of your skull so your chin can come down a little bit closer to your heart. Okay, so blocks on the tallest height if you have them, or soup cans, whatever you have to elevate your bolster and or couch cushion. And then we're going to just get comfortable. So you can bend your legs up over the couch or a bolster or your chair. Get your head pillow situated so you're supporting your skull. And you move that around so you make a nice little cradle. Chin comes closer to your chest. And then you're just going to cover up with another blanket if you have one handy, and your eye pillow will go back over your eyes. I think you know the way by now. It will be nice and quiet until I ring the chimes. So take a full inhale and a full exhale, and allow yourself to truly settle into this Shavasana. Let it be the most amazing rest you've had in a while. One more breath in and one more breath out. Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath. Bring a little movement into your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll your head a little bit from right to left. And then following your breath, draw your knees into your chest, rolling to your right side once again. And just linger here on your side for a moment. If you remember from the beginning of class, if you could hear the hum of the machinery from the neighbors, to all of a sudden being in Shavasana and it being still and quiet, and maybe you could hear the birds humming outside my window. What a shift, a difference in perspective. And we did nothing except breathe and be quiet. That creates a power from within. Using your hands, push yourself up to a seat. Sit nice and tall. Once again, when you get settled, take a full breath in, reach the arms up, stretch up, look up. And then exhale, bring your hands right back into your heart space. The light and truth in me sees that in each of you. I'm so grateful that you appreciate and understand how amazing Shavasana can be, how amazing restorative yoga is. And I wish you all a very, very, very fine day. Come back at noon and see me, and we'll have another little conversation on Shavasana. Until then, Namaste.